My name is Eric Schmidt. I am the Group Managing Director for Lumesse in APAC. In recent years, basically what we have seen is that complexity in HR has increased tremendously. First of all, there's globalization. With globalization, complexity has taken an enormous flight. Second of all, there's the arrival of internet. With the arrival of internet, a huge amount of data has become accessible to the masses, but also to the HR function, allowing the HR function to take a closer look at the bench strength of the people that are working for the company. What we see a lot with companies that are not really embracing this complexity is that in essence they are not able to see the trees through the forest anymore. There's so much impulse, data coming towards the companies that it is difficult to really pinpoint what is really important to look at. Has complexity increased? Well, definitely yes, complexity has increased quite a bit due to the arrival of new technologies, the access of data that companies these days have. It makes it very difficult to actually pinpoint what it is that as a company you need to look at to make sure you're doing the right thing. Generally speaking, and this is true for all of us, nobody really likes change. And with complexity, you're looking at change on an ongoing base. And you need to take steps within HR to make sure that this change is being embraced on an ongoing base. So here's why HR needs to pay attention to complexity. The main reason is that if HR wouldn't be doing so, you will not be able to look at the key metrics that are important for you to actually achieve your business strategy. With complexity, what you will see is, you will see a lot of data that HR can look at, but it's important to really be able to look at the data that makes a difference and can help you to really achieve your business strategy and support the senior management with real-time data that allows senior management to assess whether or not the bench strength of the employees matches, let's say, the skills and requirements needed to achieve the business strategy. Now here lies an opportunity for HR. HR over the recent years is more and more becoming a playing partner of senior management, helping them out to really achieve the objectives that the company has. And what I believe very much is that if HR is able to provide senior management with relevant metrics, key data, that it will allow those people on a C-level to make decisions that will help and support the business strategy of the company, then this is going to have a very positive effect, both for the company as a whole. It's not only about providing those key metrics to C-level. It is also about involving your employees in communicating what it really is that you're looking to achieve and what it is that you need to be able to achieve this. And here the interaction of employees versus the senior management is going to play a more and more important role. To give you a practical example, if you look at performance management, traditionally performance management is setting objectives on a very high level and then cascading them down into the organization, providing individual employees with a set of targets and objectives that they need to achieve. What I personally see happening in the market with all the evolving technologies, with big data being available, is that more and more we will see on an employee level that employees will also input their thoughts and their wisdom into how we can actually get on companies to achieve their business strategy as a whole, and at the same time create loyalty amongst employees and create a level of excitement that will only catapult the performance of the organization that is doing so. In today's environment, I think being an HR director, it's very important that not only you have a very good understanding of the tools that are available within the HR industry to help you do your job, but more importantly, it is important for an HR director to really fully understand the business model. I think on the one hand side, it is important for HR managers to really provide C-level with relevant data on an ongoing basis that will allow senior management to take those decisions needed to achieve the business strategy. However, it is also important for HR directors to really embrace the business model of the organization and fully understand the objective that the company is trying to achieve. Only then HR directors will be able to single out key metrics that will provide relevant value and add value to the company in terms of helping the organization to make the right decisions on the data that they possess. What I do see is that more and more organizations are embracing complexity and also making it part of their selection when hiring leadership. It is something I see happening more and more. Obviously, working for Lumesse, I would like to see it happen even more. I do see positive signs in the market that companies are really gearing up to embrace this. The rise of complexity within the HR function of organizations is due to a couple of developments. First of all, there's globalization. Globalization has been going on now for quite a few years, and with globalization, companies need to tap into different cultures, different languages. There are things that come into play that companies have not seen before. You need to manage your recruitment in a different manner when hiring in China versus hiring in Germany. So there's a lot of things that are really contributing to the complexity. You might end up having to look at different sets of recruitment processes for different countries, even within different industries, because the economy has developed in that way. The second reason why I believe complexity has really risen quite dramatically is regulation. We're talking about very different regulations in different countries that need to be taken into account. You are not allowed to ask for a birth date when a candidate is applying in the US. However, if you apply for a job in the Netherlands, you have to also submit your birth date. Third reason that really is contributing to a rise of complexity within the HR industry is really the arrival and evolvement of technology being used in the industries. Customers are more and more demanding when it comes to integrating the different technologies so they can take a holistic view at the data that is actually to be managed within the organizations. So do I see opportunities in the market when it comes to embracing complexity that is currently taking place within the HR function? Yes, I absolutely do. Just like we've seen in the 80s the automation of ERP and in the 90s the CRM function, we're now looking at automating talent management. And automation is maybe the wrong word, because people in essence are very complex. And we are not really looking at automation, but what we want to achieve is we want to be able to get a very transparent view of the bench strengths that we currently have working in our organization, and do we possess the right skills and competencies to really make our business strategy happen. I firmly believe that companies that look into this and tap into this by making sure that they put in place the right technologies that will give them the right key metrics, they will build a sustainable competitive advantage over the future by focusing on a limited set of key metrics that will allow them to measure their success against the business strategy. I've met in my career a couple of really outstanding HR leaders, and one thing they all have in common is they go to work every day with one thing in mind, and that is, how do I create opportunities for the talent that is working in my organization? By focusing on creating the right conditions for your talent, you create a positive buzz within your organization. And this in turn will help your organization to be more successful. It will create optimism, it will create loyalty amongst employees, and it will create, let's say, a synergetic effect within your organization that will really contribute to you executing against your business strategy. For anybody, be it a person or a company, to be successful, the key is access to the right information that will allow you to make the right decisions. Companies that will neglect the complexity that has become reality within the HR function will face a very difficult situation to provide their senior leaders with relevant data that will allow those leaders to make decisions based on metrics that really add value. So I've talked about complexity a lot, but really If you're looking to make a change, take an evolution type of approach. Keep it simple. Put in place a piece of technology that will help you to understand the skills and capabilities that your workforce currently possesses. And this in itself will allow you to work with data that will help you to assess really whether or not you're doing the right thing and where you're facing gaps and where you're facing opportunities. As a closing remark, I would like to say that yes, it's an evolution type of approach and you should not be afraid. It's all about change. It's change on a daily basis, and we as Lumesse can help you with adding performance management, succession planning, skills and competencies over time to help you really gain that sustainable competitive advantage that any company is looking for trying to be successful. We at Lumesse have always been very keen, and we will always be very keen, to work jointly with our customer and take that journey as a team. It doesn't end with the implementation of our technology, it basically starts there.